Now let's go to the deputy editor for the investing team at Business Insider, somebody a lot of people log on to hear from, Akin Oyedele. Akin, what's your take on what you've seen from the markets today, my friend?
Thanks for having me on. So today, the markets are digesting what really happened yesterday, which was not the end of the trade war. I think just based on the magnitude of the rally we saw yesterday, it might have been tempting to think that that was some kind of declaration of victory from the markets, that all of this is over. But what we're seeing today is the markets digest the fact that the two largest economies in the world are still in a trade war. They're digesting the fact that the tariffs that are in effect are larger than what had been expected prior to what the Trump administration called Liberation Day. And so that's why you're seeing, as this on the screen, the Dow is at near the lows of the session today and has erased about half of the huge recovery that we saw yesterday. So, these wild swings typically happen when things are volatile. We go from sort of extreme fear to extreme greed, and today we're back to sort of a more people thinking this through properly and realizing that this is far from over.
Right, and people who have their 401ks in the stock market who are young have time to do what the president says, which is to be cool, to wait it out. People who are retirees or approaching retirement, some of them now saying that they're going to rethink the timeline of their retirement. Let's talk about China because we know President Donald Trump tends to see many things as a card game. I want to borrow his phrase, you don't have the cards. When he looks at China, just sort of thinking the way President Trump likely thinks, does he think China has the cards to dig in their heels?
Well, if I could get into his head, that would be a real treat. But I mean, I think it's realistic to assume that China has some not only skin in the game, but they do have some runway. They would be able to withstand some economic shock for a while before this becomes, really catastrophic for their economy. Because the US is kind of in the same position. We're coming into this with a relatively strong economy, with jobs still being created, with the unemployment rate in a good place. And China's economy at the same time is also healthy. So I think it's safe to assume that, the president and the administration knows that China has some cushion and they can use some of the time in between now and when the worst of this begins to play out to really put themselves in the best position possible.
Hmm. All right, so we also want to go, Aiken, to a message from the president on social media today. He said, quote, inflation is down. He's talking, of course, about the consumer price index out today. Help us make sense of that. Are prices going down?
Prices are going down. He's absolutely correct. We got the CPI report this morning that showed the smallest increase on a year-over-year basis in what's called core CPI, so excluding food and energy costs. It was the smallest increase since 2001 when inflation really began to take off. We saw things like shelter inflation really cool down. And it was also driven a lot by lower gas prices. So inflation, at least based on the CPI measure, is slowing down. And that ordinarily would be good news, but then you remember that that was last month's report, and that was before tariffs took effect. And we're now in the world of tariffs. And so in some ways it's kind of a stale thing to cite because, the consensus among economists is that tariffs are going to be inflationary. And so if this was a year ago, it would be something we would take at face value and, celebrate. But one economist today called this a Goldilocks report in the sense that there's, the good part of it is that yes, inflation is coming down, but the not so good part of it is that we are about to enter a period when inflation likely heats up. And so um, the president's right, but inflation is likely to pick up again if these tariffs stay the way they are.
Right, but for how long? And we know you'll be documenting it in real time. Akin Oyedele, thank you so much for joining us on CBS News 24/7. We appreciate it.